Alright, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing my radiator on my BMW E90 with the N52 engine. So what happened is my radiator basically exploded. I was at a red light and I had a low coolant light show up, so I figured I just have to top it off, no big deal. I get home and I open my hood and there's coolant everywhere. I end up taking my airbox out and I see that there's a huge hole on the side of my radiator, like where the plastic piece is on the side. And there it is. That's my radiator. So I ended up ordering a new one. It's going to be here in a couple days, but today I'm just going to remove it and I'm going to show you guys how. If you're new here, I just do a bunch of BMW content, BMW videos, so if you like that, make sure to thumbs it up and subscribe for more BMW content. I also want to mention I got my radiator from Rock Auto. I know people are going to ask about links and stuff like that. I'll put it down below in the description. I got the CSF radiator. It's all black and it says CSF and like white. It looks pretty neat, but you're not gonna be able to see it at all. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is take your airbox out. Mine's over there, but all you do is there's two 10 mil bolts. There's one here and one here, so you take those out and then you have to unplug the mass airflow sensor, which is right here, and then right here you have this little clamp. You have to unscrew this, and then the airbox will come out, and also there's like these little, I guess the airbox like hooks in here just like that. You just bend this back and then the whole thing just comes out. And then you want to put something in here so you don't get any bugs or whatever that, you know, to go into your engine. But then next I'm going to take off this little guy, and that is, I believe they're Torx, they're T somethings. I'll let you guys know. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is jack my car up a little bit so I can get underneath and take that plastic belly pan off. I believe they're 8 mil. Yeah, it's a bunch of little 8 mil screws or bolts or whatever. There's probably like 12 or 15 of them. You want to just unscrew all of them, and then you just take the underpan off so that we can drain all the rest of the coolant from the radiator. And then I'm also going to take off the fan, which is up here, but I'm going to take the belly pan off first. So after you have the belly pan off, you want to just scoot it back out of the way, and then you want to drain all the coolant out of the radiator. So underneath here, you're going to see a little blue like plastic screw cap or whatever. All you have to do is just unscrew it and just make sure you have something down below so that you can drain all the coolant into. And I would probably jack the car back down so the car is more even. So on the driver's side of the car, here's where the drain plug is. It's going to be a blue one. If it's a factory radiator, so you got the blue drain plug, and like I was saying, you know, put something underneath, something to drain it into, and I would jack the car back down just so the car is even and that, you know, you get at least most of the coolant out. I got the car jacked up still, but I'm going to bring it back down once I get most of this stuff out. There might not be any coolant left in here. Yeah, there's like barely anything in here. Alright, so now just let that drain. There was no coolant in this car. I drove about a mile. Should be fine. So what I did is I put a jack stand on the passenger side, and there's nothing on the other side. So the car sits slightly slanted, so it drains all the coolant as good as possible. Okay, so right next to that drain plug, you have your engine cooler, and you don't have to take this out, but you just have to take this little bolt out. So right here, it's a T25. So just take this guy out. So this is actually attached to the fan, and so you have to unscrew this so that you can take the fan out. Alright, next thing you want to do is unplug the fan. It's just a little clip right here, if I can get it. You gotta press it on both sides. The other side is just kind of hard. There it is. So here's what it looks like. It just goes right in here like that, and you squeeze it on both sides and it comes right out. And then you have a little bolt over here. Let me get the light. So right here, you can barely see it on camera, you have another T25, So the fan is only held by this guy, and then there's a tab on the other side. So you want to take this off. It's having a hard time seeing it on the camera. It's just a T25. So this little guy, put that to the side, don't lose it. Okay, and then on the other side of the fan, there's gonna be like a little clip. So there's a little clip right, it'll focus, right there, you see that clip? And then you should be able to take it right out. Also, before the fan comes out, you wanna take this off. So unhook all that. And then probably gonna, yeah, you have to take this top radiator hose off. So, yeah, there you go. And you can start to take this off. Just gotta wiggle it back and forth. I'm gonna put the camera down. There you go, just use a flathead. And this should come out. Here it is. Put that to the side. Okay, so now looks like the fan will come off. You can take this, put it to the side. That's where the fan clips in. So you have to wiggle this around. Alright, so after wiggling it around for a little bit, make sure you don't grab that engine cooler. Just wiggle it around and then it should come right out just like this, and then just want to put it to the side. Alright, so the next thing you want to take the rest of the hoses off. So you have 3 more to do besides that top one that we did. So you have this one, you have one down here, and you have one all the way down here. So take all those hoses out and then we can begin to take the radiator out. Alright, so you have this lower hose and then have the other lower hose right above it. So basically there's like a little metal retaining clip on it. You want to pull it out, and then it's going to take a little bit of force. You want to just pull it out or off of the radiator. Same thing with the one that's right above here. Alright, so after playing around with this thing for about 20 minutes, going back and forth, finally got it out. Got this bottom one out too. Alright, it was really hard to show you from underneath, but this hose right here, this one, there's a little T25 that attaches to it. All you have to do is just take it out, and then the hose just comes right out just like that. And hopefully you don't make a mess like I just did. Alright, and so on this side, to get the radiator out, you have another one of those T25s. So just take that out, put it to the side. It's a little silver one. And she is out. And coolant's everywhere. Oh god. That took a little bit of finagling, but I got it out. Everything looks nice. Now to put the new one in. Alright, so I finally got the CSF radiator in the mail. I also got a lower radiator hose because I haven't replaced that one. I did my upper one about a year and a half ago. So that one's pretty much brand new. It doesn't say CSF on the front like the picture, but that doesn't really matter. I also want to mention, before installing your radiator, you want to make sure it looks the same as your factory one, and I already checked it out. Everything matches up, so we're going to go ahead and get this done now. And I also want to mention that the radiator came with 2 different size drain plugs, and all you want to do is go to your factory one and take it out. This guy up here, it can pop right out, and you want to match it up. So obviously I'm going to use this one and not that one. And so all you want to do is just go to the drain plug and then push it right in. There's like little notches, so it should match up, and then you just push it in and it should sit flush just like that. Alright, so when removing the lower radiator hose, watch out, because I just removed it. I was underneath the engine and I had a bunch of coolant go all over my face. That's why my hair is wet. I have to run inside and like wash off. It was like in my eyes and my mouth and my ears. So just be careful when removing it because it's gonna get messy. So I got the new lower hose on. It just snapped right in, pretty easy. Now to put the actual radiator in. So I just noticed that this hose from the coolant tank is broken. I just realized that when I bent it back over here to give me room to put the radiator in, it just snapped. So it was very brittle. So now I have to wait even longer for this part to come in. Not a big deal, but yep. All right, so while I'm waiting for that part, I'm gonna put the rad back in, get everything bolted in, and yeah, just reverse the process basically. Wow, this is a lot of stuff in the way. Okay, so I finally got the radiator in. It was a pain. Let's just say that. It's all in. It's all lined up, it seems like. So now I'm just gonna put all the hoses on and put the fan on and yep. Okay, so I finally got this hose from FCP Euro. I'm going to install it right here. And then I'm going to put the coolant in and do the bleeding process. So all you have to do to take this off is take this little metal clip off. There we go. Here's the new one. Are you? Well. Oh my gosh. Well, now this upper radiator hose broke. Gosh, I kind of had a feeling that would happen. This little thing that pops out, comes out, got just fell apart in there. Okay, so as you guys know, as I was replacing one of my coolant lines that broke, a little piece on the upper radiator hose that broke too, a little plastic piece. I wasn't gonna order it, but I found out that a local AutoZone had it, so I got it. It's over there, so I'm gonna replace that. And it's funny because I talked about this in the beginning of the video that yours might break and mine's newer. It is newer, but it somehow broke. I mean, whatever. So I'm gonna do that and hopefully get this done today. Okay, so right here is the piece that broke. I'll show you the new one. It's basically this part right here. It gets brittle and it just, I guess, snaps. It snapped when I put this hose on. So I'm gonna replace that. It's gonna be pretty simple. You just take off these clips and you're pretty much done. There's a clip under here. Alright, so I got this lower hose off. It's basically this guy. Okay. Got a nice brand new one. Alright, so now we're going to fill up the coolant. I got this off Rock Auto. I know it's not BMW branded. You guys are going to flame me in the comments, but it's called Beck Arnley. It's a Euro 50/50, so I don't have to put any distilled water in it, but it's for BMW, Mercedes, all of like the luxury brands, and it's even made in Germany. So it's honestly probably the same exact thing as the BMW stuff, but let's go ahead and put this in. You don't have to take the bleed screw off, but just unscrew it a little bit. Definitely working its way around. I don't see any leaks. Okay, so I ended up going to the dealership to getting some more coolant. I didn't have enough. Make sure you get some distilled water to mix it and do a 50-50 mix. And so I filled it up until that little bobber thing was sticking up just slightly over. What I also did is while I was pouring it in, I unscrewed this bleed screw, and then you'll hear it kind of like sizzle. It's not gonna do right now because I already got like most of the air out. So get all the air out as much as you can. Now we're gonna do the bleeding process. So I've my car hooked up to this little charger so my battery doesn't die, because your car will be running for about 12 minutes and you don't want it to die in the middle of the bleeding process. So let's put this back on and we'll go ahead and start the bleeding process. What you want to do is get in your car and don't start the car. Remember, do not start the car. So what you're gonna do is turn it on. So it's like that. Is that gonna focus? I'm not sure. Okay, so then you gotta turn the heat on. Okay, put it on the first one, so just like that. Then you're gonna hold down the pedal for 10 seconds. So and let go. Then I can already hear it. You'll hear your electric water pump start running, and it's going to run for about 12 minutes, and it's going to get all the air bubbles out. So yeah, I don't know if you can hear it on camera, but it's definitely, yeah, you can hear that probably. It's definitely going. So set a timer, do 12 minutes, and you should be done. Alright, so you can still kind of hear it. You can just hear all the coolant just whooshing around. So it's going to be done here pretty soon. After it's done, I'm going to take this off. If it needs more coolant, I'm going to top it off, and then you can start your car. Yeah, still needs a little bit more, so I'll go ahead and do that. Alright, so once it's popping out a little bit, that should be full. Because if it's underneath, then it's minimum, and if it's all the way up here, then it's max. I can put a little bit more. Okay, I guess let's try and start her up. Alright, here goes nothing. So let's just get her warm, get her running. Let's see if there's any leaks. Let that fan run for a little bit. And looks like we got no leaks. So let the fan cycle about 2 or 3 times. Let her get real warmed up. And yeah, you're pretty much done. Alright, so I just turned the car off. Everything's good. There's no leaks. Everything's great. I'm just gonna clean up a little bit and then go out for a drive and finally enjoy my car. This was crazy, from all like the little plastic hoses and this and that breaking. I mean, it is a 10-year-old car, so that stuff does get pretty brittle. So keep that in mind if you're doing this job and your car's 10 years old. I would get some extra hoses and stuff like that, even if you think it's not gonna break. This project took almost 2 weeks because of me, waiting on parts and ordering and this and that and stuff that kept breaking. But if this helped you out, make sure to thumbs it up and always subscribe for more car content to help me out. Thanks, guys.